again. What's happening this week? So we're still collecting more of our hats. For those who watch this after the fact, we've got the Chicks cap, the Aurora cap. Having a little bit of trouble selling these. Want to keep pumping them because they are a nice hat and they deserve to sell. I've got the what have I got here? The bucket hat, corn hat, the tracking hat, the River and the Sunset hat, all in stock at the moment. I expect the X9 caps the first thing this week, and we have one more, the sewing cap, to come a little bit later. So it won't be too far away. It was the last one to get completed, and then we'll have 7 in stock in total. G'day, Mark. How you going, mate? How's things this evening? Got plenty of hoodies, plenty of grey hoodies, plenty of black hoodies, and I've just ordered some new new shirts. There's t-shirts coming, so expect them reasonably soon. G'day, Jack. G'day, Tate. Thanks for the comment about the new header. It was pretty exciting to see it this week. I didn't actually expect to see it this week, but yeah, here we are. We got it. Had a bit of a look at it. Looks like it should be a good thing. Not much difference between the old one and the new one, but very excited to just run 2 of those this week. Anyway, we'll probably get into that a little bit more as more people log on. But yeah, so pretty exciting. A little bit sad to see the red ones go, as I said in the recent YouTube. If you've watched it, I put it up fairly early today just to let people have something to watch during the Sunday for a bit of a change. This week, not really sure what's going on. I'm sort of just getting myself prepared for next week's Harvest Fest. I'm going to get a new phone. As you can see, if you look up here, there, you see that shadowing there? That's actually a crack in my phone, and I need to get my screen replaced, but I'm planning to upgrade my phone at the same time. So hopefully we'll get a little bit better, better phone, a little bit more space. Because I do all my editing on the phone, not on the computer, because my computer's old. I found I was needing more space, so I've gone one with 1 terabyte hard drive just to do the editing. By the time you put drone footage on, GoPro footage on, and something usually phone footage as well. I have all 3. By the time I put all of those on, I generally end up with a bit of a fair. It can be up to sort of 50 to 100 gigabytes worth of stuff. So I had to get a bigger phone. Anyway, enough of rambling on about that. But that's this week, planning just continue cleaning up, keep the trucks rolling. We're gonna, I think, probably continue a little bit on his garden. If you didn't see, I was talking on about that a little bit in the start of the last video. I've got to get this fence up so my little fella doesn't escape too badly. He's on the move, and with no fences, just irrigation channels and stuff around here. Just a little bit nervous he's going to end up in one. There's too many kids drown on farm, so trying to avoid that. G'day, hope you're well. Cop much rain lately. So we've had anywhere up to 20 mils across the farm over since Friday through to now. It's been raining on and off here today as well. Ended up with a couple of mils. I expect to see probably that 20 to 15 to 20 across the thing come tomorrow morning. I think it has cleared up here at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be raining all week, so we're going to be looking for shed jobs pretty well. So a little bit of rain. What's everyone else getting? Where is that? I know it's been pretty widespread across the whole of Australia, so that's good. Oh, the other thing I should mention is finally got myself one of these little things, a mesh node for the Starlink. So hopefully we should have no more issues with the bloody internet dropping out. Did a bit of a speed test here before, and we're running about 150 megabits per second, so should be plenty for streaming. So no more streaming issues. I'm tempted to get another one. They're not that expensive if you're having a few issues with your Starlink. So I think it was $60 or something. I'm going to get one for the other end of my house too, because it doesn't make it all the way through there. If a Yeti tablet comes with your logo on it, I would buy it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're probably a little bit merged out for now. I think once we get a couple of shirts, I think we're just going to leave it at that. I've got the Leathermans. I can get the Leathermans if you really want. If there's any interest in them, I just don't want to sit here with $1,000 worth of Leathermans trying to sell them. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's about as much as I'm going to do. Maybe a few bigger stickers. I plan to do some bigger stickers for my own stuff, a bit like the Larson Farms one. You see them on their tractors and stuff all the time. It's a good way to show the brand, so to speak. How's the mouth? Mouth's good, Jeffin. Thank you for asking. If you didn't see my last video, I copped a bloody a pressurised hydraulic fitting to the mouth. I had to cut out a lot of swearing. If you watch it, you see me cop it and go, thanks a lot. And then I was about to say, you thing, which I cut a good minute out of that. I wasn't very impressed. Anyway, I managed to find some composure on the other side. G'day from the other side of the world, Sweden to be exact. G'day Adam, how you going, mate? We have, I've actually got another good, he's almost a friend. He's a follower of the channel. Probably not the YouTube side of things. He's on the Instagram side. And he's from Sweden as well. He's asking me for a job just earlier on in the week. If anyone's got a job for the upcoming harvest, let me know. I might be able to send you your way. He's got a little bit of experience as far as I know. So the farm's doing well. Barley's going well. Wheat's going well. Canola's catching up. Nearly all of we've actually put the fertiliser on hold for now because it took we sort of chucked 200 kilos at it, and now I'm back to the second pass, but some of the stuff that needs a second pass really only just got it 2 weeks ago. So just going to put that aside for a little bit and let the urea do its job, and then we'll chuck a bit more at it. But as far as I know, we've got enough urea on hand to finish it off. So that's good. Good to see urea out of the way. Just going back into the farm, we'll probably be looking at, just trying to get things fixed up. Got a few odd projects, like sheds need to be built and this garden project of mine. Just little things for the next month, and then probably heading into late August, we'll start pulling the corn planter and the strip tiller out and doing some maintenance on those, getting them ready so that they are ready in case we need to do some early corn, which as far as I know, there's going to be none. Unless we get some decent rain up in the hills, we're still not planning on putting that much corn in, unfortunately. Bastard, sorry, mate, I can't understand what you're saying. We only go with English. But, we've had quite the heat wave in my part of the world for the last few weeks. Yeah, right. That's interesting. I noticed the Frenchies, so I got the 2 French backpackers that were with me. They were doing, it was, they're harvesting over there at the moment. It's quite dry, actually. So interesting to see France so dry. Usually it's pretty wet. But yeah, anyway, that's good. It makes harvest easy if you're harvesting. Are you harvesting over there at the moment, Adam? What happened? So I presume with that we were talking about the hydraulic fitting. It had a little bit of pressure behind it, and they got a locking collar on it. And I was tapping the locking collar with a bloody punch, and the hose flew out and just went clack like that, straight in the mouth. Not very nice. I would buy a Narrain Grain knife even if I had to put in the pre-order thing. Yeah, okay. Look, maybe I should put 4 of them. They get an order of 4 of them. They're about, I think he sells them for 300 each, so I'll probably have to buy them for 300 and then put $10 on them or something. I'll see what he can do for a bunch of 4 of them. I think I've actually got to order 5 because our man wants to buy one. So I've got 2 truck drivers, got one. I got my brother, my nephew, and now my old man wants one. Plus, I got one from him in the first place. So, anyway, the Leathermans have been reasonably popular, and I think he's sold about 4 of them himself. So, Yeah, if you're looking for engraving on a Leatherman, Bam Multi Tools and laser engraving on Instagram, you can find him there. If not, let me know and I can probably send you his email. I'm pretty sure I've got his email there still. So if anyone's interested in some laser engraving on Leathermans, he's the man to speak to. I'll grab my, I should grab my news. I've probably said it before. Yeah, make sure you like the live, guys. We can spread the awareness here as well. If you're sitting there doing nothing, just send us a like. It helps push the algorithm out. Yeah, so that's basically what's going on. I will show you that, Leatherman. Let me go. This is my bit of a wall of merch over here. You got all the hats and whatever sitting here ready to go. Got some pens. I'm run out of the. Oh look, I've got two there. What have I got two there for? That's a bit odd. I don't remember having two sparesies. So one of this one here, is going to be part of the giveaway. As soon as the X9 hats turn up, I'm going to do a giveaway. So if you buy a hat, you're going to running to win a Leatherman. This Leatherman here, exactly. I've had it sitting on the shelf for about 2 months now. You probably, so it's got the Narrain Grain logo there, but it's probably going to be mirrored. Yep, as I expected. You get the point though. That's the Leatherman black. It is a Leatherman Wave Plus. Your basic Leatherman tools. What do you got in here? We got these are generally stiff as hell, and then you jeweler screwdriver, main screwdriver, like a flat blade there. There's some scissors in there. The scissors are handy. I've used them before. Can opener, Phillips head screwdriver. So not a bad setup. And then your basic, nice and tight one in you. Basic knife. I don't want to get flagged here for promoting knives, but you get the point. And I think this one here is a file. They are handy enough, the files. I have used them before. And this one is a saw blade, I think. Yeah, for chopping wood. So if you're looking to buy one, maybe hang back, maybe buy a hat. Anyone who's bought a hat in the last, basically since I come back out with the orange one, the river and a sunset hat, they will automatically go into the running to win this. Even though I haven't announced it yet, that's what the plan is. So if you want to buy a hat, you'll go into the running to win this Narrain Grain Leatherman that I got going here. We're going to do November? No, probably not. We've got too much other stuff going on in November. I'll have an avalanche of content coming out, going into harvest. Who's doing dry July? Is anyone still doing dry July? It's only got, what are we up to? The 27th, so it's only got 5 days to go. Yeah, so dry July will be finally over and finished. And to be honest, I'm sort of thankful. I've missed out on a few things because of it. But anyway, that's the point. We can, yeah. I've been missing a few beers on a Friday night, that's for sure. I think you said you had 60-foot fronts in red airs, but going back to 50-foot in a green machine. Is there a reason behind that? Yes, there's a very good reason behind that. If you haven't, I will go into this in greater detail in future videos, probably when the X9 turns up, but I'll answer your question right here, right now. So the 60-foot fronts were bought as a replacement for a 50-foot front that we had previously from Midwest. So we had 50-foot Midwest, went to 60-foot Midwest with our 9250, which is now for sale. They're a great front. They generally do the job. They're probably a little bit overkill for the red headers. So it's a little bit of a... All right. So the 60-foot front on the 9250, we thought was just a little bit of an overkill. Not for the fact that you can't just go slower, but the problem with going slower, in my opinion, headers need to run at about 5 to 10 kilometres an hour whenever they're running, whatever they're doing. It sort of gives you the right distance to get as far as you need to go in the paddock. So say the bottom of my screen is the bottom of the paddock and this is the top of the paddock. The length of my runs, the length of my paddocks works out really good for 50 foot. If you're going, like say my average is about 4.5 tonne of wheat and I go from here to here and the paddock sort of covers it and you turn around and come back. Some of the paddocks you can cut them in half, but if you were doing a 2 tonne to the hectare crop, you'd probably want a wider front to take in the same amount. You'd be doing the same speed. So for us, 50 foot is about the right size. It's a ratio of front to header capacity. So the X9 generally with the 50 foot front runs somewhere around that 6 to 10 kilometres most of the time. It's only a low sort of more limited crop of wheat like something 2-3 tonne that you really have to run it above that 10 kilometre range. And to be honest with you, headers don't really like running any quicker than 10 kilometres. You can do it. There's plenty of people out there who do it. And I know in some spots they've got no choice but to run that quick. But for us, I don't like running them any quicker than 10 kilometres. I find the front gets very bouncy. I find it's very hard on the headers and very hard on the fronts. So in a roundabout way, what I'm saying is I think the 60 foot fronts are a little bit too much for the case headers. I think the 50 foot sometimes is a little bit too little for the X9. A 60 foot front for the X9 would probably be best for this area. That being said, John Deere don't make a 60 foot front. Only Midwest make a 60 foot front for the X9, which is fine. There's a few people who are out there running them. But to be honest, I was losing a little bit of my patience with the Midwest fronts. I've had a lot of breakdowns, a lot of issues. Nothing to really turn you off them forever, but when I got the demo of the 50 foot John Deere front and I saw what it was eating, and I saw what it could do, saw it working in down barley, I was a convert immediately. It was just a lot better front. Everything's controlled from in the cab. It's got the sensors for all of the tilting and your header height and all of that sort of stuff. It's just a better front, I'm sorry to say. I've had the Midwest fronts for my whole harvest career, but when I went to the John Deere front, it was just a better front. It worked better with the X9. If they make a 60 foot X9 front John Deere do, then I will buy one. So that's the answer to that. There's not the 50 foot versus 60 foot thing's not a matter of capacity. It makes no difference to the capacity unless the front is your limiting factor. So if you got a 60 foot front in down barley, but it can't go any quicker because you're just trying to get the stuff in the front, then your front's a limiting factor. If you got a 40 foot front on an X9 trying to drive 15 k's an hour, then your front's a limiting factor for the header. So if you just go for 50 to 60 or even 45 to 60, there's not that, there's a difference in speed, but there's not necessarily that big a difference in capacity. Bigger is always better, but only a little bit, only by a little bit. If the header's the limiting factor, then the header's the limiting factor, as in that we're talking about the coal mine itself. I will go into this in way more detail in one of my upcoming videos that I'm working on a lot closer to harvest. I'm going to go into how to set up a header in great detail, the limiting factors of headers, your engine horsepower, your front size, your rotor capacity, your sieve capacity, and basically I'm going to do essentially what is a flow chart from there to determine if you can get any more capacity out of your header and out of the front, and basically from there. I've got the basic structure of it. I need to do a lot of work on figuring out some way to do a PowerPoint or something more new agey. PowerPoint seems a little bit antiquated now. So which hat is my favourite? So I like the red and the yellow hats, wherever they've gone. The red and yellow hats are a little bit bigger, so if you've got a big head like I do, they're a 62 supersize. They are a monster. They were a little bit of a problem for some people because they were so big. Anyone's got a smaller head. I've seen kids wearing them, so it's not the end of the world. But if you're looking for a smaller hat, the Riverina Sunset hats, the laser bucket hats, and the sewing caps when they come, they are your regular 59 size. If you're looking for a big noggin hat, go for the yellow one or the red one, and the X9 hat that I've got coming is a big hat. It's a 61. It's a bigger size, but it's not a super size. So I really like the green and the yellow though. I think they're great. That being said, the Riverina Sunset and the laser bucket hat still fit me as well. So it's just, I just prefer the other ones. I just find them more comfortable on my head. So for that reason, alone, I say I like the yellow one, the corn edition, and the trucking edition. If I was going to go on design though, I took the biggest risk with the Riverina Sunset hat. If you've seen it, um, and it seems to have been the one that sold the most. So interestingly enough, it sold quicker than any of the others. So I was pretty happy with that. Um, yeah, so it's probably the best in design. I really like the new X9 one that's coming there, so hopefully it'll be a winner too. Uh, hey mate, hey Mitchell, what's going on, man? What's going on? Nicker, is it? Yeah, Nicker. Yeah, let's not go there. What's going on, guys? Your hoodies are so warm. Yeah, so the hoodies, they really are an awesome quality hoodie. It's a great bloody thing. If you want to know where you find them all, go and punch Narrain Grain into Google. You can find the link on my YouTube. You can find the link everywhere that's on my things, on my link tree and everything. So, um, yeah, fine. Go and grab yourself some merch. It helps me greatly. Anyone watching the videos, if you could send us a like and send a share, subscribe, that'd be great too. Yeah. Anyway, roast lamb off the menu. 460 for lambs at Dubbo apparently. Yeah, that's pretty hot for lambs at the moment. I think we sold some, so not really lambs. I wouldn't call them like a food lamb, more of a sheep lamb. Well, they were wethers. I think we got a 215 average there a little while ago, which we were pretty happy with. I thought that was pretty good for what they were. What about that? Hey mate, hey Blake, what's going on, man? Hey, we've ended up with about 15 to 20 mils across all the farms, so generally not too bad. What's everyone else getting? How much has everyone else had? I haven't heard too many reports, but to be honest with you, I haven't gone looking for them either. Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically where we're up to at the moment. As I said, hopefully our Starlink's working a bit better this week with this little mesh node. It seems to be working quite well. So it sped my computer up fairly well. 25 mils for Caleb, that's good. That's good. There's a fair few people I reckon would have had 25 mils to the north of me. I had 8 mils on Friday night, and a lot of people had like that 15. So a little bit more wet to the north, but it is what it is. Yeah, that'd be about right, Gavin. There. Yep. He's so JB. For those who don't know, Farmer JB, the other YouTube channel around here, he's only 50 k's away from me to the south. He's he and I are mate. I would say we're mates. Yeah. I know him well enough to talk to him in the street, but he's not one of my best mates or whatever. Good up wearing well over the weekend. We had around 18 across the board down Eden. We had 38. Yeah, right. Yep. So it's pretty good rain across the board by the sounds of it. That's going to be pretty handy for a lot of people. You should just watch the tons across the district. Across the state, 2 states, just slowly ticking up, so can't go wrong there, I reckon. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to speak about, any of those people who are into farming in that northern New South Wales or New South Wales region, really, southern Queensland. Harvest Fest is coming up. Sorry, I'll just answer that. Is JB's farming in Vic or New South Wales? So he's just on the New South Wales side at Barooga. So not too far away from the border, but he is still in. He would be no further than 10 k's from the river. I've been past his place. I've never actually been into his place, but I've been past his place before. One of his next door neighbours is a client and good mate of my brother's. My brother Eddie, good mate of the family. So we go over there quite often. But as I said, I have never been on JB's place. But he's a very nice bloke. We've been talking a lot about everything: YouTube, cameras, audio, mics, timing. There's a lot to YouTube that you guys probably don't see in regards to like timing and content and that sort of stuff. It takes a bit of nutting out. It's a lot of people just think you just bang this thing out. You got to plan the week, plan what you're going to film, and sometimes you've really got to pray that you've got something to film, because not all the time you've got something that's really substantial. You go, and I go, oh, that's not worthy of it. And some people go, oh, that'd make good YouTube. It's hard to know until you're in the mix of it. What I basically have found in the last couple of weeks particularly is just take the footage. If it's no good, just find something else. That last one where I was dealing with the laser bucket, and then we eventually went over to Hutchies and had the X9 and whatever there. I had no intentions of taking that footage whatsoever. I just happened to take the camera with me with the 9620, and then we found out the new X9 was over there at the same time, which I wasn't quite expecting to be here yet. So anyway, it was a good opportunity to get some footage and to release that. Once they get it out to us in October, we'll get a bit more footage of it and setting it up and getting it all right. I've been in the X9 for 2 seasons now, and I've done a demo the season before that. I'm quite familiar with the platform. I'm really a big fan of that X9 platform. So it should be good. Next week, as I said, we're going to Harvest Fest. I expect to get my eyes on. So I've seen the CR10 and the AF10 in the flesh. We're going to have the AF9 and the CR11. The 11's the one I really wanted to get my eyes on from the new CNH side. I think it will be a weapon of a header. I think it's probably the header that everyone was looking for from CNH. Just purely for rotor size. I know there's a lot of people that don't believe that you need more than a single rotor, and for some people, for some region that there's probably rings true, but for around this region and to the south of us, we could use the 11 big time. I think it was a big blunder from Case IH not to bring the AF11 in to Australia, because I think they could sell like hotcakes. I think they would sell like hotcakes. I know Chris Dowling he's over at Yarrawonga, but he's also to the north of us too. I think they've got, from last I heard, an AF10 and 2 CR11s coming. So that's a good indication of exactly how they will go. That will be a great sort of sounding board to see exactly how they're going to go across all of the farms really. I don't know how many Sierra 11 New Hollands combined that exist in Scandinavia, but it's not a common sight up this part of the world. Yeah, okay, yep. I wouldn't mind betting that there's probably going to be a few move in that way. Look, I don't know how big your crops are over there, but I think Hugo said he was getting sort of 7 tonne to the hectare. That's Sierra 11 fodder every day of the week. Anything 4 tonne or less, I think you can go back to single rotor pretty easy and get away with it. But for anything over 5-6 tonne, you'd want the biggest header you can get, I would have thought, if you can afford the repayments on it. That's the hard part. You can't just afford this stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like, no one's making a whole bunch of dollars and they can just go, oh, I want to buy this. like the two X9s that we've bought have seriously just been consolidating problems that have arisen from not having big enough headers. So, um, in fact, going from the two red ones back to one green one was a bit of an actual step back for us, but it should make our in paddock logistics a lot better. So yeah, that's I think two X9s will keep up to one X9 and two red headers purely just not because I think the X9 can quite keep up to two red ones. It's very close. It's about 90% of the way there, but not quite. So we're going to lose a little bit of capacity, but we'll gain in paddock efficiency, which will in turn give us more capacity because what happens if you got one header going slower than the other? So we had the two red ones were a smaller bin with a less capacity header and a bigger wider front, so they're always in the way for the X9. I think they're out of the way. We have two X9s running in a paddock like this all the time. The chase bin won't have to work quite as hard as it did. We're getting hopper extensions for them. They'll take them out to 18,000 litres, so that will be a monster. Anyway, I'm rambling about the X9 and whatever, but you're getting the already wives switched across. Looking through some truck photos a while back, did you have an SAR a while back? Nah, never had an SAR. We've only ever had cab overs. So as if we just see combos of these straw walking machines are popular among those who have dairy beef cattle. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's probably you've got to be covering a lot of ground to warrant it really, as well, Adam. So yeah, that's something to be taken into account. Anyway, guys, if you all send us a like, I'm going to head off. I'm going to go over to TikTok for a little while and do another live over there. Thank you for tuning in again. So I answered Caleb's question. How's the chase bin axles going? So they are going well. Paddy's been working on them flat out. I think he'll get plenty more time to get them done. We're just waiting on a few other brackets and whatever to be done by Dunstan in Krang. And then one of us will probably fly over there this week, grab all them so we can get it back together. It's probably at the peak of the grinding off and welding up stage, and we will start getting new parts to fit to it and weld them on, and then we'll go about fitting it back together. It's been a rather big surgery. The balls is also due for some major surgery. We're not having a good run with chase bins at the moment. We managed in the last day to crack the chassis pretty substantially on a balsa. I will probably go into that in some detail in a future video when we roll it into the shed, but not very nice either. Chase bins copping a hard life on our farm apparently. Not sure what's going on there. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. That's right, Caleb. The check banks are rough. Yep. I think that's really what's doing most of the damage. That being said, the balls had died in a paddock that didn't have check banks. So maybe an existing problem that was rearing its head from check banks. Not sure. Don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you all to it. Thanks for tuning in. Send us a like. Go and check out the latest YouTube. Have a look at the merch on the store, and we will see you all next week. Back here, 7:30 every week. Righto, thank you. We'll see you.